You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Worst presidential relative inside Don Jr.'s sheer moral repugnance, based on an article by Thomas Keeker. Trump is not a side character. He is the payoff mechanism, the real power. This is not a story about a spoiled son embarrassing his father. It is a story about a presidential office being used as a private revenue stream, with Donald Trump Jr. helping normalize the arrangement. The institutional power sits in the White House. The family's value lies in converting that power into business opportunities. That distinction matters. The younger Trump is not operating in a vacuum. He is trading on access, signaling, and proximity to the presidency itself. The source material makes clear that the money trail follows the office, not talent, not innovation, and not public service. The family firm. The article tries to frame Don Jr. as the worst presidential relative ever, but the deeper problem is that he is not aberrant. He is a technician of corruption. He has learned the family trade to turn public authority into private advantage, then act as if the resulting deals are just ordinary capitalism. World Liberty Financial is the clearest example. The reported $500 million secret investment from the UAE's National Security Advisor is not a random venture capital story. It is a payment into a company tied to the president's family, followed by a Trump administration move that lifted export controls on chips the UAE wants for its AI plans. Commerce Department staff objected. The White House overruled the friction. That is the actual mechanism. The ally excuse. The administration's defense is the oldest scam in the book to reclassify self-dealing as geopolitics. The White House says the UAE is an ally, as if the word ally disinfects a suspicious exchange of money and policy favors. It does not. It only shows how easily national security language is used as camouflage for patronage. This is not confusion. It is deliberate misdirection. The political class is invited to stare at the friendly label while ignoring the transaction underneath it. The point is not that the president's allies are foreign. The point is that policy is being bent around private enrichment, then sold as statecraft. Defense as a grift engine. The same pattern shows up in defense spending. According to the source, Don Jr. and Eric Trump invest in smaller defense companies, and then huge government contracts magically materialize. That is not a neutral description of market success. It is the outline of a system where proximity to power functions as an investment strategy. Kez Resources is even more brazen. The company reportedly received $1.6 billion in federal government investments, while the president intervened to secure special access to tungsten mines in Kazakhstan. Again, the important fact is not just that the family is making money. It is that public money and presidential intervention are being routed toward ventures tied to the president's own children. Moral rot, not mistake. The source is right to note that anti-corruption rules are so weak that shame and morality become the only remaining brakes. Donald Trump Jr. clearly has neither, but the larger scandal is that the system depends on personal decency to do the work that law should be doing. That is institutional cowardice dressed up as normal governance. When the rules are lax enough, corruption does not need to hide. It only needs to proceed in plain sight and rely on the media to soften it into commentary about family dysfunction. The real story is not that Don Jr. wants to please his father. It is that the presidency has become an inheritance machine. The pattern. This is what oligarchy politics looks like. When it is no longer embarrassed by itself, policy is flexible, state power is transactional, and the family nearest the throne becomes the brokerage house. The source captures the scandal, but the deeper pattern is worse than one greedy son. It is a ruling culture that treats public office as property, foreign policy as leverage, and the federal government as a deal desk. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternet for today's article, with the automated voice of Norman. Thanks for listening.